Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Monday. Won't be on here for too long. We're gonna talk a little bit about Niner football because I'm trying to watch this basketball game. Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. 3-1. Celtics win. They're champions, or possibly, you know, due to ratings and due to money being made, maybe Dallas can stretch it into a game six, maybe a game seven. Who knows, man? But imagine the possibilities and the odds. But anyway, man, Brandon Ayuk. I'm a longtime San Francisco 49er fan. One of my favorite 49er players happens to be a wide receiver. And I guess, look, man, I'm not the biggest fan when people are trying to negotiate contracts, right? Or when people are trying to negotiate things that should be held privately. I don't really like to speak on anybody else's business because everybody has a different price for their life, for their skill set, for whatever the case may be that is being. If you're like the commodity, right? If your hands or your skill is what brings you in the money and you have a price set for yourself, whether it's $100 an hour, I mean, who am I to say and tell you otherwise? So if Brandon Ayuk is being offered, let's just say $26 million per year from the San Francisco 49ers, and Brandon Ayuk believes that he is worth much more, who am I to argue, right? The way I look at it is this. Things of when people leak information, videos, or people talk about it in public, I don't really like speaking about on topics like this. Things that should be held in private, especially contracts and negotiations, keep it as such. But for all intents and purposes, once you publicly state something that should be held behind doors, then everybody has an opinion about it, right? And everybody's emotions are up, or, they ruffle some feathers. Or in this particular case, one of my favorite players, I guess his girlfriend or his wife is videotaping him, and he's talking and FaceTiming one of his friends, basically says, they don't want me back. I don't know how to take this, man. I don't want to get like super emotional. You know what I'm saying? Because a couple years ago, the Niners had this amazing receiver. We still have him. His name is Deebo Samuel, right? He's a fan favorite in California, pretty much a fan favorite all over the world. His name is Deebo. Got the movie Friday, and all of these things. So all of these correlations and connections, you just associate a lot with these players. But when he was negotiating a couple years back, he basically unfriended and removed, all right, not just unfriended the San Francisco 49ers, but he removed every single memory that he had when he was rocking the red and gold uniform. Now that's crazy, because the way I look at it, whether you had a bad moment, it's not a bad life and it's not a bad career, but to remove every single content and archive it from your social media page, I'm like, damn, bro. I felt like I was very emotional. I was like, man, fuck this dude. Trade his ass. We don't need that type of like toxicity. Like, if he doesn't want to be part of this organization, whether he's a player, I'm not there, never the type of person to remove content or pictures or things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because whether it's good or bad memory, like, it happened. Whether you delete it off your social media, you're basically saying that it didn't happen and you don't want to relive or share those memories. Well, Brandon Ayuk is kind of doing something similar here, right? Now, supposedly, this video is taken out of context. Supposedly, they're talking about a fantasy football league or whatever the case may be. And they're basically saying, oh, they don't want me back. Or in this particular picture, he's saying it like almost facetiously. He's got like a smile across his face. He's not even being serious, and he's rubbing his face like he's trying to play it cool. Like, they don't really want him back, but in the reality, they do, right? And the fact that the Niners are negotiating with said brother, like, of course they want him back. But still, man, like, when these informations, it's like, we know that players openly and publicly, delete posts. They give out sound bites so they can leverage their negotiations and contracts. We know that they do that. But again, a lot of in terms of this day and age, A lot of people, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like in this day and age, a lot of people need to be much more private, especially when talking about business. This is essentially leaked information, right? Now, again, I haven't really done my research. I just saw this little sound bite, and quickly, I don't even know where this whole video is, if it's like a vlog or whatever the case may be. But still, man, I don't really like things of those natures. It really bugs me, it rubs me the wrong way. Let's say I'm married, right? And then let's say me and my girl get divorced. I'm not gonna go through my Instagram reels or every single social media platform or even on my photos, my private photos, and delete every single thing. Absolutely not. Those smiles, those memories, those vacation spots that we took, that happened. And whether it's good or bad, maybe we has differences of a side or whatever the case may be, but I still want to relive and revisit those memories that once occurred, because that's part of my journey. I'm not trying to erase a journey. Like, if there's something that you'd be ashamed about, then you can delete that or be like, man, that happened. I don't want to ever revisit that. But why would Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and to your point, Vince, why would Klay Thompson be ashamed of being part of the organization and unfollow them and delete and or private these videos? Like, it's very childish, and it's just like, it rubs me the wrong way. That's the way I interpret these things. Hey, happy Father's Day to you, Vince, and to your pops and to yourself. And, it's never too late, man. So hopefully you guys had a great time. Vince Vargas goes, and happy Monday. Agreed. Just like Klay Thompson unfollow the Warriors on Instagram. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's just like, why would you unfollow an organization where you created and you left a legacy? You're an all-time Golden State Warrior great. They're going to make a commemorative video about you if you go to another team. You might retire as a Warrior. Like, why would you unfollow them? Like, I don't know, man. And I know he has some type of jealousy towards Steph Curry, but I don't know, man. Like, little shit like that, bro, it just rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, I heard it was for an event at Arizona State. That's why he was talking about, according to speculation. Maybe he put it out to see if it stirs the pot. Deleted pics of him and Steph with the trophy. Now that is drama. Yeah, man, I agree. Little things like that, I just feel like, yeah, man, like when it comes down to Klay, he's a splash bro. And sometimes your brother is just better than you in basketball, or he's much more historical, or he revolutionized the game. But like, Klay has nothing to be ashamed about. You don't have to shake hands with Steph every single time and acknowledge his greatness and hug him, obviously. But you can see off body language alone from Klay Thompson, there's this envy, this jealousy. And he's like, damn, I can't perform at the high level that I used to. And this dude is still doing it and still breaking my records or more of the records. And I wish I was right there. You know what I'm saying? So from just like a toxic, like environment, whatever the case may be, you can say it burdens Klay a little bit. But to unfollow the Warriors, bro, like after I don't know, 10, 15 years, that's crazy to me. Even if you were to play for, let's say, Charlotte or Chicago, like, so what? But I don't know. But yeah, I agree, Vince. Again, this video is probably taken out of context when he's talking about they don't want me back. It can be like inferred to a lot of things, right? It can be, I don't know, not just the Niners organization. That's how people are going to interpret it. Like, oh man, he's talking about the Niners. They don't want him. But since the fact that the Niners offered Brandon Ayuk $26 million, right? In California, the state is going to take like 35, 40%. So it doesn't weigh the same as say he was a wide receiver for Dallas, Texas. You know what I mean? Or in Texas, there's like, but whatever the case may be, he's like, man, in order to really make 26 million, I need to get paid 42 million a year, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, when it comes down to Brandon Ayuk or any little things that the media want, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. There is a lot of hate and envy towards Californians, the state of California, and all of their teams. I don't want to talk about this, but for all intents and purposes, let's go down this road. The Kansas City Chiefs, right? They were the most penalized team. Now, I don't want to sound like a crybaby, but I'm still salty about that Super Bowl loss. They're the most penalized team, and their offensive line, they suck, and they hold a lot. Against the Niners that have, I don't know, 7 first rounders, Nick Bosa, Colin Farrell, um, Colin Farrell, Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw. Ooh, what happened here? Let me try to get this back. Uh, Javon Kinlaw, and all of these first rounders, right? Not one holding call was placed on the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's crazy to me. You know, even Kyle Shanahan, he talked to the ref. All right, that's holding on Trent Williams. I just want you to call it both sides. And they never did. And that was on purpose, man. Because they want Patrick Mahomes to break Tom Brady's record. They want Patrick Mahomes to chase those Super Bowl rings. And they want him to succeed. Okay? So they're going to influence some calls and decisions because there's, you know, Tom Brady is gone, right? And now who's the next runner up? And it's Patrick Mahomes, right? They want him to break all those records. To be honest with you, that hatred that they have towards California, they carried over on Brock Purdy. You see, Brock Purdy ain't going to sell you a lot of jerseys like a mixed kid like Patrick Mahomes. It's just not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. You know, Brock Purdy, humble kid, really great player. But he's the reason why the Niners went to the Super Bowl. Because our defense was horrible this year. I mean, we were probably top 10, but like for the amount of first rounders and like 100 million players that we have on that defensive side of the ball, they did not play like Baltimore Ravens or even the 2012 San Francisco 49ers with Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. Like for all of those first rounders, what do you think DeMeco Ryans can be able to orchestrate? You get what I'm saying? So anyway, so Brock Purdy was one of the reasons why we excelled at that position. That comeback of 31-17 that we had down 17 against the Lions, that nitty-gritty game that we had against the Packers, it was all because of Brandon Ayuik. Yeah, of course, Brandon Ayuik, but Brock Purdy, right? But people won't tell you that, right? They don't want to acknowledge Brock Purdy's greatness. If you see some of these throws that he makes, I don't even know how he sees that in terms of his vision. This guy is the next Drew Brees, right? Anyway, Vince Vargas goes, right. How do you think Steph's brother feels? Seth, the chef is a way better pro. Clay has nothing to be ashamed about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Seth Curry, like imagine him, bro. Like, man, my brother's Steph. Like, I don't know. Like, if my brother was like Steph Curry and I'm Seth, like, I'm not tripping. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Like, I'm in the league trying to be like him. Like, it's all good. But with Clay, man, like, I don't know. When he unfollowed the Warriors, I just couldn't believe it, bro. It's crazy to me. It just, like, I don't know. I wouldn't feel like that. Like, that's just, I mean, I'm not saying that I have to kiss ass of the Warriors and pay, you know, and play for them for a $1 million contract, but why not a prove it contract? Well, prove it to me, like after all these 15 years, maybe you feel a type of way about it, but you're not the same player that you were 15 years ago. You're aging, and you know you can't. I mean, you went 0 for 10 on an elimination game. Like, dude, what are you talking about? You want us to give you a max contract? Like, no fucking way, you know. But anyway, I don't like Rashee Rice, wide receiver of the Chiefs, after showing his true self after that speeding accident. Hell no. I mean, who can like him after that? I had Rashee Rice on my fantasy team. Amazing player. But, you know, like what he did with that situation in Texas is crazy. And look at him. He's not even suspended. He could have killed a lot of people. He wrecked a lot of people, right, in terms of the vehicles. And I think he ran away from said vehicle. And he's still playing right now. He's in the training camp on the OTAs. That's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the privilege of these athletes, the privilege, like even Tank Davis. Dude, this dude ran and hit. He hit it. He did a hit and run, and he ran over, I think, a woman that was pregnant, right? Probably under the influence. 2 months in prison. The privilege. But, you know, if they get like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I'm not trying to make this a race thing, bro, because we can go different ways about it. But man, must be fucking nice to be rich and having friends and positions of authority to not lock you up in jail for the rest of your life. It's insane. But yeah, Rashid Rice with that incident, that was crazy. It's basically those people that put it on social media where they're like, um, going in between vehicles and doing all these crazy things. Like, damn, bro. Like, I don't know. I feel like, not saying we got to get tough on crime, but there's a lot of situations, a lot of moments that like you have to deter this situation. And the way to do that, and if you get caught and you're recording, you will never be able to drive behind the vehicle. Your license is suspended forever. For the rest of your life, you're riding a bicycle and pedaling. You got to make an example of these dudes, but no, they ain't gonna happen. People doubt Purdy because he doesn't look like the Titans QB Will Levis. Physical specimen, bro. That's hella funny. That's funny. I love Will Levis. He's hella good. Hopefully he can do a lot of great things with DeAndre Hopkins, the first rounder that they picked up. And I think they got the Tennessee Titans. No, not Tennessee Titans. The Cincinnati Bengals. T. Lee Higgins, whatever his name is. But yeah, man, that's funny, bro. But yeah, no, honestly, like, politics gets played in a lot of these sports, and they don't want California to have enough. Like, they don't want San Francisco to be Super Bowl champions. That much is clear. Started with Jim Harbaugh, right? Back in the time when we played the Baltimore Ravens, they didn't want Jim Harbaugh and the 49ers to win. That's just a fact. They didn't like Colin Kaepernick tattoos, him kissing his biceps way back then. They didn't like that. He didn't fit the prototype. But now that we do have the quote-unquote prototype in Brock Purdy, why still this hate? Oh, then it becomes the thing about San Francisco. It becomes the thing about, oh, they're California. I just read an article and some people were telling me that they bought a home in Idaho, right? And their vehicles had a California license plate. And all of those people from Idaho destroyed their vehicles just because of that California license plate. You know, the framing of it and all that stuff. That's insane, bro. So that Cali hatred is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, these would be the same type of people that would love to come and visit all of the things that California has to offer and then talk a lot of shit behind their backs. I hate those people, bro. But I'm serious. Like, that's what it really comes down to. A lot of hate and envy and jealousy just towards California. Look, I'm from California. I hate our politics just as well. But you know what I'm not going to do? If this person was my neighbor and he had Texas or Arizona or, I don't know, Alabama license plates, I'm not going to destroy and deface their property, their vehicles. Like, no way, man. If people did that to my vehicles, like, not only would I be extremely hurt, but like, bro, like, you know, that could be my daily commuter. That could be the show car, whatever the case may be. I would be extremely pissed. And especially just because it was a California license plate. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you guys on right now? You know what I mean? I'm like Inglourious Basterds and Brad Pitt collecting scalps right now. That's how I would feel. Like, the memories that I made, you know, the building, the manual labor, the paint jobs that we did just to get it, and then just for another motherfucker to deface it just because I'm from California, that's insane to me. Yeah, I get it. You don't want this there, whatever the case may be. There's a reason why I left, and I'm now based in Idaho. I'm not saying that's where I'm from, but you get what I'm saying? Like, if I was that person where I was reading that article from, it's insane. So, yeah, there's a lot of hatred towards California teams, especially San Francisco, because, see, I was talking about it with Larry Liston on Sunday, I believe, and it was a lengthy conversation. But we were talking about why boxing doesn't benefit from having a one face or an undisputed champion per division, right? So let's say me and Vince are from California. And then, well, let's say Vince is from California. I'm from New York. And then War Speed is from Texas. And then this other guy, Drew, he's from Minnesota. Boxing would benefit if there's 4 different champions in 4 different states, and we can maximize and generate a lot of profit and popularize boxing in those states, rather than if all 4 of us were all from California and they're like, oh, here we go, California's dominating again. We can't take this Californian over to Alabama, but we can take a Deontay Wilder over to Alabama and sell out a new market. You get what I'm saying? So boxing doesn't benefit from an undisputed champion. They will benefit from 4 different faces and 4 different champions. The sport will grow, you know, in respect to what I just gave you in terms of that context. Same thing with Football. If San Francisco keeps dominating, if the Lakers keep dominating, win championships, then you can build up a market with the Hornets. Then you have to move the Seattle Supersonics over to, or the Portland Supersonics, or whatever the case may be. You have to move them to and be whatever fucking team is that they're now called. I don't even know. You guys get what I'm saying? So that's the thing, man. There's a lot of hatred with San Francisco, and they don't want San Francisco to, win more Super Bowls. They're already established. The Niner faithful fan base, they're always going to remain a Niner fan base. It's a big populace and a lot of people that rock red and gold jerseys in San Francisco and California, period, in Texas or whatever the case may be. They already know San Francisco is established, so they can milk more money off of us by having us come always in second place. And of course, Patrick Mahomes is the poster boy, the golden child of the league right now. They want to make more NFL games. They want to have more playoffs. They want him to break all of the records of Tom Brady because that generates sales for the league. It's always the next man runner up. They're always looking to replace LeBron James. Because the NBA don't have that LeBron James, the next phase, they don't want him to retire, essentially. So they're always going to stack his team and let him to bro, why does my computer keep doing that? Anyway, Vince goes, yeah, people doubt. I got to read that again. In fact, I'm going to highlight that comment. That's hilarious. People doubt Purdy because he doesn't look like the Titans QB Will Levis. That guy is a physical specimen. Yeah, that's gold, bro. I love that. And he put some boxing. Timothy Bradley versus Jesse Vargas, one of my favorite fights of all time. I think the NFL knows now how important the 49ers fans are. Take over opponent stadiums, cash cow for the league. Absolutely. And they will continue to maximize their profits and exploit the Niner fan base by having us come second place every single time. They want us to be good, just not always winning championships. That's just the reality. That I will stand on that, like 10 toes down. Right? They will always make sure that there's some cause here that where we don't win. I can attest to that. If we're not playing in San Francisco, or California, we're not gonna get a fair shake. That's just how I believe. Like that's what that is just evident. It's evident. And there's other teams that have this type of advantage or disadvantage as well. Like there's always an influence. And I don't want to sound skeptical and just be like, oh, everything is rigged. But to not call, there was so many holding calls on the Chiefs, and to call not one. That's crazy to me. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about things that should be in private and they're leaked and released publicly, or people make these ideas and notions. Brandon Ayuik wants to remain a Niner. Brandon Ayuik wants to retire as a Niner. He wants to be the third greatest receiver behind Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice. And I believe that he is. He's the third best wide receiver that the Niners have had, right? Since probably Brandon Lloyd. Who remembers Brandon Lloyd? The one-hander. He was Odell Beckham before Odell Beckham. But because he played for the red and gold, nobody talked about Brandon Lloyd. This dude was making diving one-hand. I still got the newspapers. Right? The newspaper cutouts. This man was making diving one-handed catches. But because the Niners sucked, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't color his hair and wear Rolex watches, people weren't talking great about Brandon Lloyd. That dude was a flat-out beast. My favorite wide receiver since Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice. I was trying to give guys like Ty Streets and J.J. Stokes some credit, right? But, it's very difficult for the Niners to find that replacement of like the T.O.s and the Jerry Rices of the world, right? It's very difficult. But we got Brandon Ayuik. And I know he wants to be a Niner for the rest of his life. He grew up as a Niner. The only thing that I'm surprised, though, is this. How he wouldn't take a pay cut. Now, again, for all intents and purposes, check this out. I understand that he shouldn't, lower down his worth, right? But it's not like he's getting paid pennies on the dollar. I mean, he's still on a rookie deal, and he's going to get paid $14, $15 million still on a rookie deal. You know what I'm saying? Of course he wants an extension. Of course he wants to get paid like a top 10 wide receiver. The dude runs like top 5 as a route runner. He's got like his blocking ability is fantastic. When he grabs a hold of a corner and he slams them to the ground and he just bullies them to, essentially to the corner or to the sidelines. I fucking love seeing that. That mindset, that mentality is old school football. Not a lot of people can block like that. Anyway, he's going to be a Niner. He's going to remain a Niner. And this is just our hearsay. They do want him back, which is why they supposedly offered him $26 million a year. If he's not okay with that, that's called negotiating. Do it privately. But again, this video is probably taken out of context, so I'm just going to leave it as such. Until I see Brandon Ayuik do all these little petty things like unfollow an organization, remove every single 49er post like Klay Thompson did, like, come on, man. Like, people are watching, and like, again, just because maybe the organization is going to move forward or you're going to move forward with your career, there's no reason for you to delete every single memory that you created. You stole, like, I don't know. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. I could be wrong. Maybe you'd be like, well, you've never been in that position, dude. You can't talk about something you never, experienced. Nah. I read that one. I think the NFL knows now how important the 49ers are. Fans take over. Okay, I read that. Yeah, man, I agree. But yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to talk about Brandon Ayuik. Hopefully he's not talking about the Niners, that they don't want him back. $26 million says otherwise, that they do want him back. Let's talk about a little bit of Tank Davis. Now, for like the buildup of their fight with Frank Martin, I've already addressed this point, but it just came across my feed, and I can't put it in a chart as beautiful as some person online did. So whoever made this chart, shout out to you. So we acknowledge that Tank Davis is an amazing boxer. He's very intelligent. He's got pop and power and speed and IQ in both of his punches and his fists. Amazing punch selection. The dude is going to be difficult for anyone to beat. Damn near he might retire undefeated. And he might do it by knocking every single one of his opponents out from this point on and forward. He's very studious in his craft. He's an amazing boxer, an amazing fighter, right? But because he's an amazing fighter and an amazing boxer, and we acknowledge his skills to be up there with his best, we can't speak about his accomplishments as such, right? Because these fighters that aren't as good as him or his contemporaries in his same age group, give or take, look at all these no's. Devin Haney, being pillow-fisted as he is and chinny as he is, has accomplished all of these things, and Tank Davis hasn't. Shakur is almost yes on everything. Teofimo Lopez is undisputed in 2 weight classes. I don't care if this chart says no. We know boxing did Teofimo dirty with the franchise belt and then stripping Josh Taylor. They did that on purpose. So Teofimo couldn't be undisputed because they don't like his dad, how vocal he is, right? And look at Lomachenko, been the lineal world champion? No, he was so close. He should have been. It should say no to Devin and yes to Loma. So everything that Devin has on yes, it should be towards Loma because Loma beat Devin Haney, but they gave it to Devin. That's just a fact. I don't care the way you slice it and dice it. We all know what we saw, and Lomachenko was superior to the young 24-year-old when Lomachenko was 34 and they fought. The Mexican G goes, I don't know what you're talking about, Rick. I don't see anyone beating Tank. Nah, he didn't add the first part. But yeah, man, the only person that I can see possibly beating Tank at 135 is Edwin de los Santos. He's fast, explosive, and he beat Shakur Stevenson, right? Shakur ain't going to beat Tank because that same performance that he did against Edwin de los Santos is how he would fight Tank. And Shakur, I promise you, if he were to fight Tank, he's not getting that decision. He'll get it against Edwin de los Santos, but the tables would turn. It would be 7-5 against Tank. Shakur would run and hug Tank Davis like he ran against Edwin de los Santos. Fast, explosive, punches harder than me. He would run for dear life. That's what I promise you. But the decision won't go in favor of Shakur. If Tank were to fight Shakur, it's going in favor of Tank. That's a fact. The same fight that you saw against Edwin de los Santos, Shakur will not get any better. when it comes down to fighting Tank. That's just the fact. He might go the distance, but he ain't going to win on the scorecards. I promise you. The only guy that can probably beat Tank at 135, I don't know if it could be Lomachenko at age 37. As I've said before, I don't want Lomachenko to fight Tank. You know, Tank don't deserve that knockout of Loma. He just doesn't. You know, he aged him out. I can't respect that. Now, for all intents and purposes, Loma is still one of the best at 135. And if he's going to be competing, then he's worthy and he's got the fighter's spirit and the mentality to take on the best challenges. So I know Loma is not going to duck the smoke, even as his skills are no longer the same as he was when he was early 30s or, you know, early 20s or late 20s. Tank would never, at the age of 36, ever fight a Loma if the tables were turned. He didn't want to do it when he was a champion at age 22 years old. You get what I'm saying? But look, guys, I'll probably go on for like 10 more minutes. Tank would cut off the ring and Shakur and sleep Shakur. Yeah, I agree. I hope it happens, you know. But again, Shakur is going to run from Tank the same way that he ran from Edwin de los Santos, a fighter that's a lefty, explosive with both hands, speed, can move and box. Tank would get that decision over Shakur. If you just swap the bodies of Edwin and insert Tank with the tattoos, Tank's winning decision. And every single people, and if they gave the decision to Shakur, they would be screaming robbery because it's a Spanish-speaking Latino, they're not gonna cry for Edwin de los Santos. He don't got 8 million followers on IG. He probably got like 8,000. Right? Privilege, folks. American privilege. Look at Rashid Rice. If it was anybody out there, they're doing life. Or Tank Davis, whatever context that he had to serve in prison. That's just a fucking fact. But because he's got 40 million and, you know, he's got amazing lawyers like Al Heyman, if he even exists. The beauty about having money in your pocket, right? It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful thing. Shakur is from New Jersey. He's a New Jersey clown. He should change his name to Pennywise. Yeah, that's actually good, man. That's a really good one. I like that one. Tank would cut off the ring and put Shaker to sleep. Yeah, man. He would fucking... I don't know if he would sleep him. I know that he would rock him, and I know Shakur would even run and hug for dear life, kind of like Devin did to Jorge Linares. It would be the same situation. But yeah, man, going back to Tank, we talked about this in the past. Look at his contemporaries, the guys that he grew up with and sparred with. Devin has a yes to all of these. Lomachenko should have a yes to all of those as well. Tank's never been a lineal world champion at any division. He's never unified 130, 135 at 140. Been a ring or lineal champion? Nope. Been undisputed? Nope. Beating a reigning pound-for-pound fighter? Nope. If we were to extend this list and put Usyk, Bud Crawford, Canelo, Jermell Charlo, Josh Taylor, and we would put all his modern contemporaries, he's the only one that's on the pound-for-pound list, and all of his boxes check out as no, no, no. The rest would almost have like 85% green. Yes, yes, yes. So how can we revere Tank as this ultimate extreme fighter? He's equivalent to, I can't say that, but he's equivalent to Jake Paul. It's like giving Jake Paul all of these commemorative, just awards just because he knocked out Tyron Woodley. But he's just a YouTube kid. Or he's just a social media star. You get what I'm saying? If we were to add Ryan Garcia, he would look like Tank. Has Ryan ever been unified? Nope. Ring lineal? Nope. Ever undisputed? Hell no. Ryan hasn't even been a champion. He would look, basically Ryan and Tank have the same similar careers. Obviously, Tank is better than Ryan because he knocked him out. But again, Ryan had to sacrifice 136, a weight class he hadn't even made in like a lot of years, and he was capped on a rehydration clause. That's what Tank needed to do just to step in the ring with Ryan. That's how much he feared Ryan. Just give you guys some context. Imagine when you're telling Tank at 21 years old, and when Floyd Mayweather is backing you up, and Lomachenko, I'm not gonna fight him. I'm too young. He's got to, be on the fast track because he's older. He's old. I'll fight him later. That's crazy. You guys get what I'm saying? Anyway, I love Tank Davis. He's a beautiful knockout artist. Like the way he sets up, and he's like as a closer, the punch selection is hellacious. It's fucking brutal. Like that's what we love as boxing fans. So his boxing style is gorgeous. Who doesn't love knockouts? And this dude is sleeping people. Manny Pacquiao couldn't sleep people. Only like the Ricky Hattons of the world. He was like punches and bunches, da 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 da. You know, when he would drop Marquez, flash knockdown. When he dropped Cotto, knockdowns, knockdowns. But all of these dudes would get up. The only time he ever slept somebody was Ricky Hatton. Tank Davis sleeps all of these dudes. But again, to Manny Pacquiao's credit, Tank Davis ain't fighting the Juan Manuel Marquez's, the champions, the pound for pound guys. That's why those guys can continue to go up, because they can take a punch or two. Frank Martin never been a champion. So that's a beautiful knockout. But again, if we check out, has Frank Martin been a champion? No. Has Ryan Garcia been a champion? No. Was Mario Barrios a legit champion? Not if Josh Taylor exists and he's undisputed. So these guys are good fighters, but they're not great. So when you see this chart, hold on, I got to bring down Vince's comment real quick just because it's kind of blocking it. Sorry, Vince. That's a great Will Levis joke. But when you look at this chart, all of this, if Tank is that dude, it should be highlighted in green and say yes, yes, yes. And they asked Tank Davis in an interview if he's interested in being undisputed. He was a little hesitant, but he goes, look, man, for my legacy, yeah. So it looks like Tank this year or soon, he's going to try to unify the 135 division. But let me tell you guys this. The 135 division is not the same stacked division when Teofimo Lopez was there and all of these other fighters were there. A younger Lomachenko, right? The only one that's there is Shakur Stevenson. And you know Tank's going to fight him last. I'm more than likely, he's going to fight him last. He's probably going to try to fight the Ukrainian guy that beat Emmanuel Navarrete. Then he'll probably fight Lomachenko, an old-ass version of Lomachenko. And then he'll probably fight Shakur. The crazy part about it is Tank's already probably planning that out because all of those four guys to get to Shakur, they're all southpaws. I guarantee you Tank ain't going to fight no Edwin de los Santos. Why? Why would he? Anyway, Pacquiao was a volume puncher, not a KO artist. Yeah, I agree. Come on now, that's a ridiculous statement. Which part? Tank Davis is a counter puncher. Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez was a counter puncher too. But he never really slept person with one punch. Neither does Canelo Alvarez. The only person that he ever slept with one punch was Amir Khan. And we already know why he was able to do that. So Tank Davis is one of the greatest, single-handed, single-shot fighters in the world. Amongst those pound-for-pound guys, Jermell Charlo don't sleep people like that. Not just with one punch. None of those guys have one punch changing ability. Tank Davis is the only one. He's like the mini version of Mike Tyson. Comparing Jake Paul to Tank is ridiculous. Oh, yeah, I did say that. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying like how people praise him. You get what I'm saying? Like Jake Paul gets all this praise for knocking out Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and all of these dudes. And it's just like, come on, bro. Like, who is he knocking out? You guys giving him way too much credit. Same thing with Tank. It's like, he's great. He's actually fighting professional boxers that are like legit boxers and stuff like that. We know what Jake couldn't do to Tommy Fury, but he stole a job, Tommy Fury. It's in terms of how much people give these fighters so much attention. Tank and Jake, they're really similar, man. You know what I mean? I know that was like a little bit of a stretch, but still, I think you get the point. Damn. I think that's about it, man. But look, what the hell? Is that comment still there? It is what it is. Will Levis and Brock Purdy. But yeah, man, hopefully this version of Tank remains dedicated. I would love to see Tank Davis continue to fight. I don't know, two more times this year. Hopefully it's against, not hopefully. I don't want it to be hopefully against it's Lomachenko. I have too much respect for Lomachenko, even though I'm very critical of Lomachenko in terms of the propaganda machine. But still, at one point, it would have been an extremely competitive fight. If Lomachenko were to fight Tank Davis now, it would be really similar when Lomachenko fought Teofimo Lopez. He would move a lot the first 6 rounds like Frank was doing, and then probably try to turn it up late, hoping that Tank would blow out his wad. I don't know. Or maybe that side-to-side movement troubles Tank. It would be a very interesting fight. I'm not going to lie. I would still be a sucker for it and still would like to watch it in this time and day. But I can't give Tank that much credit for beating a 37-year-old Lomachenko when he could have fought him when Lomachenko was 28, 29. That's why I got to give Gary Russell Jr. a lot of credit, because he fought Lomachenko and gave Lomachenko an opportunity when he was 3 fights in his pro career, and his last fight, he was coming off a loss with a record of 1-1. If I'm Gary Russell, I'm going to be like, look, bro, I respect boxing too much to let a dude with 1 win and 1 loss become a champion of me. But Gary Russell, to his credit, still fought him, and he was injured. And coming off, like, I was like, damn, bro, like, salute to you, Gary. That was probably one of, like, I have that fight, and has so much replay value. I thought Lomachenko hands down won. I didn't think it was like a split decision or anything, but Gary did well. Vince Vargas goes, Trey Lance has all the tools and the physical skills. Purdy has the mind and quick, correct reads. Yeah, man, look. I'm not the biggest Kyle Shanahan fan. Damn, that's a fucking mouthful. Try to say that 10 times in a row. Kyle Shanahan fan. Kyle Shanahan. Like, no way. And I hate how he drafted Trey Lance and parted ways with him. Trey Lance should have been either undrafted or a 6th-rounder. At best, a 4th-rounder. If you really want to take a chance, get him in the 2nd or 3rd round. But he didn't play all of that following year of COVID. And he was only 19 and 20 years old. So if you take a 20 or 19-year-old, then you have 6 years for him to finally develop, or at least 4. We parted ways with him at the age of, 22 years old? Because we drafted Brock Purdy. We gave up like 3 first-rounders just to move up to get Trey Lance. That's supposed to be your guy. That's supposed to be your prospect of who you develop. And then you part ways with him. And you give him to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, bro, that don't make any sense. I'm rooting for Trey Lance to be something and understand football and Dallas and learn under Dak Prescott like Jordan Love learned under Aaron Rodgers. Have some tutelage, and wisdom from Dak Prescott and ball out. I hope Trey Lance is able to really live up to the expectations of being drafted in the 1st round. I dislike everything about what the Niners did to Trey Lance and drafting him and then kicking him away. That was crazy to me. But we'll see, man. Trey Lance is still very young. It's kind of like Alex Smith. I think Trey Lance can have an Alex Smith career where for like 8 years, Alex Smith had different offensive coordinators and he couldn't really get it going. And then up until a good coach like Jim Harbaugh was able to understand him, utilize him, simplify the game, start off with an epic running game, and then eventually get his confidence and start winning because you're that guy. So hopefully he's able to develop that type of connection with Mike McCarthy in Dallas. But yeah, man, everything that the Niners did, like Kyle Shanahan would attest to this and agree to this as well. He said that he failed Trey Lance. That's the same way I feel about it. I wasn't a big fan. Unless you have like an Andrew Luck or a Peyton Manning coming out of college, that's where you go 3, maybe even 6 first-rounders for a Peyton Manning, a Patrick Mahomes like that. But not a young kid like Trey Lance that played for like North Dakota. That's crazy. Shanahan got Sam Darnold a starting gig in Minnesota. That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. And they even picked up my J.J. McCarthy from Detroit. And they parted ways with Kirk Cousins. Now he's in Atlanta. Going back to Tank Davis, though, Vince, because, we can talk Niner football all day. I'm excited. I'm still heartbroken, because obviously we lost the Super Bowl. I mean, one of the things that I would always pride myself as a 49er fan is going 5 Super Bowl rings on 5 visits. Going to it 7 times and losing twice. Man, like the last Super Bowl, I didn't really get hurt that much. But as the Jim Harbaugh Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick against his brother, that one hurt, man. To see that arc of that Niner team, Patrick Willis, Frank Gore, Vernon Davis, and how we sucked for like 10 years. And then who's got it better than us with Jim Harbaugh, rejuvenated, made them winners. That whole arc would be one of the best Netflix documentaries that to this day, I'm waiting for Jim Harbaugh to write that book of what went wrong in San Francisco and why they parted ways with him. And he went back to his alma mater in Michigan. Like, I'm still waiting for that documentary. I'm waiting for that book. I need that Netflix Insider 30 by 30 scoop because I have this salty ass feeling of why Jim Harbaugh and Jed York could not get along. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, this is the first coach that you've had in like the past 10 years since like Steve Mariucci, Mike Nolan, and all of these dudes. And because of his attitude or his arrogance, you fucking part ways with him. Like, dude, what the flip? I'm still tripping about that, man. Like, and that Super Bowl, like, I don't know, man. That's the wildest thing. We're getting blown out. Jacoby Jones returns it to the house. The lights go out. You know, it allows Jim Harbaugh, Jim Tomsula, and all of these defensive coordinators, Vic Fangio, Greg Roman, to get it right. We make this amazing comeback, and then we're at the red zone. And like Russell Wilson, when he throws that pick to Malcolm Butler and the Patriots, why don't you run it once with Frank Gore, bro? He threw 4 fucking fade routes to Michael Crabtree. So annoying. Haha, you're right. Top Rank gonna have also Top Rank's gonna have a fight on Friday. El Divino Espinoza. That's the guy that beat Robeisy Ramirez. Yeah, yeah, man. I'm excited for him. I want to know if he did it legitly or if it was a fluke. Because Robeisy had him not like he put him on skates in 3-4 rounds, and then next thing you know, boom. You know, he comes back late and wins. I think it was a split decision. Regardless, it's very difficult to be consistent. At 6'1", we know Espinoza is going to hit hard, and we know that he has the heart, that he has the strong mindset of once you drop me, I'm still here, I'm still standing. So it's going to be very interesting. As I say this, it looks like Boston has a 10-point lead over the Dallas Mavericks, and we got 3-4 minutes to halftime. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the chart. I just wanted to address a little bit of the Brandon Ayuk situation. I hope he remains a Niner. I believe he will. I believe he will honor his rookie contract. If he doesn't, we'll probably trade him, midway point, whatever the case may be. We will see. Vince, I don't know if you play too much video games, but did you see that Christian McCaffrey is going to be on the cover of the new Madden game? And there's like that whole Madden curse. But it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if you play Madden. I haven't played Madden since like the Xbox 360 days when Sean Alexander with the Seattle Seahawks was on the cover and he had like 24 rushing touchdowns. I haven't played Madden because I feel like all I gotta do is wait a year, and that same game that's going for $100 or $70, I can get it for $12 the following year, just because it has no like longevity value. You get what I'm saying? So like, because they recycle the next Madden and there's a new Madden 2026, 2027, the value of year to year is ridiculous. I have the Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes cover. When it came out, it was like $80. Now that I have it, it's like $12. I bought it for 15. Brand new. It's just like, so I started playing Madden games or any sports games because like, what's the point? Just make one game and then just have us constantly updated every new season. There's no point unless you put a new truck stick or it's vulgar or you have some NFL Street PlayStation 2 situations. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Vince Vargas goes, it's true. Espinoza has to prove that he is a legit champion. Yeah, this is going to show that he's consistent. I might wager and put some money on the other dude. I don't know. I got to do my research, but the way I always look at it is like, okay, you did beat Robeisy Ramirez, right? Robeisy Ramirez, after his first round knockout loss in his first professional fight, rejuvenated his career against with Ismael Salas, and you came back and beat him. We know Robeisy, could get beat. So how good is Espinoza? I don't know. Maybe did he have a fantastic night, or is he a true 126? We'll see. Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall got to step up. Absolutely. If Brandon Ayuk and the Niners can't settle, that's why we drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round. So we don't have to bend over backwards for Brandon Ayuk. But if I'm Brock Purdy, I want weapons and more weapons. You can never have enough good players on the team, and you can never have enough good offensive linemen on the team. And if Brock Purdy is your $100 million man or your $150 million arm, then you have to protect him. One of the best ways to protect him is obviously by having a great offensive line or a great running game. If you have a great offensive line and a great running game, and you're going to pay him $150 million, well, you need to get weapons around him so he can continue to prove um, being excellent. You know, you can't just have an amazing arm and not have weapons. Like you have to have weapons for your assets, and that's how you're gonna generate much more. And then to the point, if you feel like you have that O line and you can, if you're like Patrick Mahomes, where he makes every receiver great around him, and all you need is a security blanket and Travis Kelsey, then Brock Purdy only needs one weapon, and that'll be Christian McCaffrey. You can win with Ricky Parcels and Jawan Jennings. So you can probably trade Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. But we don't know if Brock is that dude. So we can call him our Patrick Mahomes, you know. Only time will tell, but Brock has great vision. He's got quick release. He understands the game. But against legit defense, against the Baltimore Ravens that have great corners, Christmas Day, he threw 4 or 5 interceptions and got benched. That's the reason why Brock Purdy didn't win MVP. So maybe, you know, it is the weapons. Again, I feel like it's a 50-50. I have the weapons. I'm on a Super Bowl winning team. I came into the right situation. But there's moments where we also win because Brock Purdy might be that Drew Brees. Who knows? Vince goes, yeah, I seen that CMC on the cover. I'm going to get the college football game for sure when it comes out. I don't buy every Madden. Don't play the game like I used to. College is going to be cool after a 10-year layoff. San Jose State to play Alabama on the championship game for me. Bro, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. You know what? A lot of people hold that same sentiment as what you stated. A lot of people are saying, I'm going to, you know, having Christian McCaffrey on the cover is really cool, but I want to play that college football game because, to your point, 10-year layoff. So that's what I'm saying. When we were talking about Madden, like every single year there's a new Madden game. Like, no, we're not going to pay $600 for the same game over and over. But when you don't make a video game and we have to wait 10 years, we know the college situation because there was a standstill with the players and they were exploiting the players and generating the money off of them. So it was like a political, social, economical thing. But now with the nil, you know, or the name to influence, you know, incentive that college players now make money. Now you know, everyone's getting bread and breaking bread together. But yeah, after 10 years, everybody is excited to play and put scenarios like San Jose State versus Alabama or San Jose State versus LSU. Like you have those matchups now. And because you made us wait 10 years. That's how, like, look at boxing video game. We want to see Canelo on the cover or Tank Davis on the cover. So, you know, we're Bud Crawford and we can play against Canelo, or we're Canelo and we're knocking out, you know, Alexander Usyk or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? So when you make us wait for a lot of things, it's impactful. So to your point, you're a diehard Niner fan. You love Christian McCaffrey. But guess what? You're going to buy the college football game. And a lot of people hold that sentiment. Why? Because it's not repetitive and derivative where you made us wait 10 years. For instance, sidebar, the movie Superbad with Seth and Evan, right? Fantastic movie. There hasn't been a Superbad part 2. And people have wanting to see that movie for a long time. Once they make it, Superbad 2, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna do fantastic numbers because we waited. Look at Hangover. The first movie, all-time comedy classic, hilarious. The second one and the third one, they're just as equally as good as the first one. But because they came out basically like almost in subsequent years, you're just like, okay, it's just an overkill. But had they made Hangover 2 and made us wait 7 years, and Hangover 3 and made us wait 25 years, we would be like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But because they released it almost like back to back to back, you're just like, all right, I don't want to see another Hangover movie until like 25 years. Look at the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise. When the first one came out in 1989, it was a great. 25 years or 30 years after the fact, 40 years, when they come out with Top Gun 2, everybody loves it. Wins awards, generates $1 billion. That's how it goes. But yeah, man, I got to watch some of this basketball game. But thank you guys, man. Happy Father's Day. Happy Monday. Vince goes, oh, hell yeah. I need a new boxing game. I think there's one in the making. Yeah, I believe so too. So hopefully it turns out to be really great. And I can't wait. But yeah, man, shout out to Brandon Ayuik. I can't wait for the football season to start. I'm tired of being heartbroken, man. And we have a new defensive coordinator. Hopefully he can shape out. We lost a lot of defensive linemen. I don't even know if we retained Randy Gregory, but we lost Javon Kinlaw. We lost Eric Armstead. He's with the Jaguars. We don't have Colin Farrell. Chase Young went to the Saints. We're gonna have Drake Jackson and Nick Bosa, and then the guy that we signed from the Philadelphia Eagles. We don't know how good our linebacking core is gonna be when the football player that got injured, his Dre Greenlaw injured his knee and his leg or his Achilles in the Super Bowl. He might come halfway towards the season. Houston Texans. A lot of people love the Houston Texans right now. You know, they have the quarterback from California, and he's balling out. His name is not running through my head. They just signed Stephon Diggs. They got Joe Mixon. D'Amico Ryans is doing great. He just bolstered up his defense, picked up a first-rounder along with a first-round corner alongside Derek Stingley. He picked up the Detroit Lions first-rounder that never panned out. They got Jimmy Ward. They got amazing Daniel Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings. Man, the Houston Texans team, that's the team that might win the Super Bowl or go to it. Obviously, it's going to get tough when you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in town. And then also, you know, you still got to prove that you can beat the Chiefs, but the Houston Texans, man, watch out for them. And I mean, you guys already know. The Mexican G goes, Tim Bradley looks like a milk dud. Yeah, dude, his fucking bald head. Lloyd to the Rams. We picked up Lloyd. Malcolm Lloyd? No. I think I know who you're talking. I think I know who you're talking about. But yeah, man. Look, I think the Niners are going to struggle this year. I think we're going to struggle this year. I think the Rams have a lot of they're extremely fresh with that Hawaiian receiver that they have alongside Cooper Kupp and then Kyren Williams. I think the Rams are the team to beat. Question for you, Vince. Did Aaron Donald did he retire? Leonard Floyd. Yeah, I like Leonard Floyd. He's a little older though. Did Aaron Donald retire from the Rams? If he's still playing, then I think the Rams are going to beat the team to beat. I just feel like they're a little more fresher, and the Niners play very conservative. And I would say overall, the Rams keep finding diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying? Like Kyren Williams is going to be a top running back. And then he goes, yeah, he did retire. Damn. If he did retire, I mean, yeah, then that defense is going to suck a little bit because that's their most impactful player. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Niners still are the team to be, I suppose. When Marcus lost to Bradley, I knew he was washed. Prime Marcus would have beat that boy in a coma. Yeah, I agree. Bradley did well, though. He boxed extremely well, and he even, wobbled Marcus late. But, yeah, man, to be fair, Marcus should have never been fighting at 147. He's too small. The only reason why he moved up to 147 because he was following Manny Pacquiao. That's the – oh, look at that. Oh, remember this. Watch this. What? Oh, remember that? I know y'all remember that. And the ref stopped it. Oh, because he thought that he heard the bell. Oh, this is crazy. Bradley was like, what? That would have been the Meldrick Taylor Chavez Sr. situation. But yeah, guys, on that note, happy Monday. I'll see you guys. I don't know. I want to reach out to Ruben and just talk about. I want to play poker, Texas Hold'em with Ruben. And as I'm playing against him, I might ask him some boxing related questions. I want to see if he can multitask. I'll bet him $10, whatever the case may be. And I want to have a sit down with him, very informal, but just kind of chop it up about boxing. What kind of things that he can do to get into himself in position to be much more influential. How would he do against guys like Naoya Inoue? How would he do against, Venado Lopez on a rematch? Ask him kind of like fan-friendly questions so I can help Ruben get a title shot, because I'm sick and tired of like people bypassing Ruben Villa and he's not getting these fights like a Robeisy Ramirez. Like the dude that he's fighting in his fourth fight in Top Rank, I'm like, dude, like, what's going on? And Ruben needs that influence, man, because I want to see if he can become a champion. But I think that would be pretty cool. Imagine playing Texas Hold'em. against Ruben Villa and we're asking unboxing related questions, that would be legit. But on that note, guys, happy Monday. I'll see you guys. Vince Vargas goes, yeah, I Googled it. Aaron Donald did announce his retirement in March. Damn. Yeah. Ruben always smiling when he talks. Yeah, man. He's a good kid, man. Big fan of Ruben. And he's got the skills. So this goes like this. Ruben has all the skills, just doesn't have the power. And fighters that have the power, I'm gonna ask you guys this. Would you guys rather have boxing skills or would you guys rather have power? Right? Now you can be like, well, why can't I have both? Well, not a lot of fighters have both, right? There's only a select few. The fighters that do have both skills and power, they're obviously on the pound for pound list and they become very influential. The Mexican G goes, I'd rather have boxing skill. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think out of all the best skills to have is power. If you have power, you always have that puncher's chance. If you don't have power, you really have to discipline yourself to a T to enhance your boxing skills. You're gonna have to have masterful footwork. You're gonna have to have great hand speed. You're going to have great defense, very good fundamentals. You're gonna have to have everything else but power. You right? Because if you don't have that power to keep the other dude honest, it's gonna be a tough world to make a lot of money and get a buzz in professional boxing because people love the knockout artist, But yeah, I agree. Me personally, I would love to have boxing skills, but I kid you not, give me Emmanuel Navarrete power over anything. Give me the ability where I can beat the most skillful fighters like he did. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But yeah, anyway, guys, on that note, I'll see you guys on the next one. The Mexican G, salute to you. Vince Vargas, salute to you guys, man. Happy Monday. Happy Father's Day to one and all. And I'll see you guys next time.